Sup, chooms. Thank God, praise Freya, praise the sun, and the eternal fire. I am jubilant and elated to finally be back here with all of you, my fellow hair loss witchers, so I can continue this glorious witcher contract to defeat the slaphead curse once and for all. So, this video isn't going to be about any new product, hair loss news, or a breakdown of any scientific research on existing treatments like I usually do. I'll of course get back to that soon, but I just wanted to make this video to quickly go over what the hell happened. Why was my channel down for nearly 3 weeks? Well, chooms, truth be told, I am still trying to get to the bottom of that myself, so let me go ahead and explain how things happened from my perspective. So right before my channel was banned, I had literally just finished filming a video on topical finasteride that I was all ready to upload. So every time I complete a video, what I do is that I watch it to make sure I didn't get any of the science or news wrong, because after all, a lot of what I cover is medical information, so it is vital I don't get anything wrong before I release it to the public. So this video I had just filmed was short. It was only about 8 minutes long, so I was in no hurry to upload it, especially since I had just uploaded another video just a day earlier. So after I had finished filming, editing, and reviewing this newest video, I went to my lounge room to brew a cup of decaffeinated Earl Grey tea, and when I went to my editing room to open my channel and upload the newest video, I noticed that my channel wasn't there anymore. So literally, within the minutes I was away from my computer to make a cup of tea, my channel was gone completely. Poof. I saw this message that my channel was terminated due to a trademark claim that was filed by a third party. There were a lot of thoughts running through my head at that time. All of them were bad, of course, but the one question I kept asking myself was, how could this happen so easily? I started my YouTube channel way back in the year 2013. Back then, it wasn't even a hair loss channel. I just created it so I could troll, shitpost, and maybe occasionally share lifting videos with my real life friends every now and then. It wasn't until about the year 2014 when I even experimented with the idea of talking about hair loss on my channel, and I did so upon the suggestion of a real life friend of mine. He told me that I should really consider talking about hair loss on my YouTube channel since I like to talk about it a lot in real life. It was back then that I also decided that the anti-finasteride narrative that dominated the internet at the time finally needed to be challenged, as I was absolutely sick and tired of all the misinformation and conspiracy theories about this drug that caused me and many other people to hesitate starting treatment, which caused many people to lose their hair. Back then, I definitely didn't expect that the narrative behind finasteride would completely change as it has. Back then, finasteride was at best seen as a last resort option. All the hair loss forums and subreddits were completely dominated by finasteride haters who were spreading misinformation about the drug's safety profile online. But that was a long time ago, and things have now officially changed. The anti-finasteride trolls have now been relegated to the fringes of the internet. No longer are they taken seriously in any serious scientific discussions, and today, finasteride is both mainstream and popular. More people know about it and use it than ever before in human history, especially with the advent of telehealth companies that have helped make hair loss drugs like finasteride more accessible to millions of men. Back in the 2010s, I was one of the only people fighting back against all the misinformation about 5-AR inhibitors on social media, but today, there are dozens of great science-based influencers who make quality, evidence-based content on hair loss. They have all helped put finasteride back into the mainstream where it rightfully belongs. And with the European Medicines Agency's recent decision to reject the anti-finasteride movement's attempt to ban finasteride, it is safe to say that the finasteride haters are officially finished. I would have loved to have made a video on this when the news first broke, but sadly, it happened while my channel was banned, so that wasn't possible, and that irks me like you wouldn't believe, chooms, as I had been covering the news about the EMA for months. Fortunately though, another hair tuber, KWRX, already made a great video about it, which I'll link below. And since I am mentioning other influencers, I want to take a moment and give my heartfelt thanks to all the other hair loss YouTubers and public figures who spoke out and defended me during this entire ordeal. A lot of my haters decided to attack me after my channel was deleted, which was especially dickless since I wasn't able to defend myself. So, to Vera Villon, KWRX, Tom Gilbanks, McBillyboy, Aw Many Fit, Magic Bold, Follicle Fixers Club, and I'm sure there are many others as well, so I'm sorry if I didn't mention you, but I want to thank all of you guys from the bottom of my heart. You guys make fantastic content, and you are all huge assets who contribute to the scientific discussion on all these very important topics. I know that since we cover similar subjects, it's easy to see me as a competitor, so it definitely took a lot of integrity to speak out in my defense. I consider you guys to be my allies, and I want you to know I don't forget kind gestures like that, so I owe you guys. big time. Also, I want to thank Bald Cafe too, because I know a lot of my haters thought going on his channel to gloat about my channel getting banned would be a good idea, and I know Bald Cafe could have easily capitalized on my channel's termination if he wanted to, but he refused to engage with any of those people, and I admire that. Also, dude, I heard you want to work out with me, and yes, I would love to work out with you, man. Next time I'm in the UK, or if you're ever in the USA, and if you're still down and you've got the time, let me know. Hell, I'll even shave my head. Anyways, so I think one of the reasons why the Finasteride haters have really amped up their attacks on me personally is because they really have nothing better to do right now because they've lost the fight and they know it. They know that Finasteride is becoming increasingly mainstream and popular these days, and they cannot stop its growing popularity. They know that they are fucked, and they also know that their movement is fucked. So right now, all they can really do is try to get revenge on the people they think contributed to their movement's failure, like me. Even after going to the mainstream media where interviews were published across various newspapers and cable television shows, they still failed completely to change the status quo about Finasteride. So what are they going to do now? They couldn't get any bans or restrictions on Finasteride in the USA, the UK, the EU, and their research has all been debunked and forgotten at this point. They can't fundraise, they can't organize, they can't even create a YouTube channel with more than a few thousand subscribers. They will never see any vindication for their claims. They will never have retribution against the manufacturers of these drugs, and they will never deprive the world of the gifts that drugs like Finasteride can provide.
You are defeated.
They've run out of money. Their donations have dried up. They haven't published any new studies in years now, and the last study they published, the Baylor study, ended up being such a joke that even Finasteride haters refuse to defend it anymore because even they know it's about as scientific as astrology, and I'll post my video where I debunk that study below. For all intents and purposes, the anti-Finasteride movement is finished. They are about as relevant to the scientific debate as HD, DVD, VHS, and Laserdisc are to video formats. Now, of course, there will still be a handful of die-hard supporters of PFS who refuse to give up, just like how there were still people who denied relativity back in the 20th century and insisted that the universe is held together by a luminiferous aether of some sort. You can never silence every idiot, but in the case of Finasteride, the adults are officially back in charge now, and that is never going to change ever again. I can't say how much my channel has actually contributed to this fact, but I think it did play at least some small role because I know thousands of people have told me that I inspired them to get over their fear of Finasteride, and that makes me so incredibly proud, Sherms. So, when I saw my channel was banned, one of the ways I coped with this was I told myself, well, I'm gone now, but that's kind of okay because I successfully achieved my goal. Finasteride is now mainstream and people don't have to be afraid to save their hair anymore. And now there are tons of pro-Finasteride social media influencers and hair loss YouTubers who can continue the legacy I helped cement here. But I knew I couldn't let things end because I know there will still be new generations of hair loss witchers, and I feel my content can still be helpful for them, and my work is far from finished. I plan to spread Finasteride's glory so that every human being on planet Earth who is worried about balding will take it without fear. I want to live in a world where Finasteride is used more commonly than even aspirin and Tylenol, as I believe this drug improves the human organism as a whole, not just the hair. So I vowed to myself that I would do whatever it took to get my channel back forever. So the first thing I did was I decided to utilize other social media platforms to keep people updated on my journey. I don't have nearly as big of a following anywhere as I do on YouTube, so I know most people would be missing out on what I was saying, but I knew it was better than doing nothing. I don't have an Instagram, but serendipitously, my partner runs one where she documents me specifically. She was just as dedicated to getting my channel back as I was, so it was her idea that we reach out to as many of my viewers as possible via Instagram. Additionally, I decided to create a Substack where I provided regular updates on what was happening as I fought to get my channel back. There, I posted regular updates, but what happened, it kind of reminded me of that one side quest from The Witcher 3 where Geralt of Rivia goes to the bank in Beauclair to collect the deposit, but he keeps getting referred back and forth to other departments.
I need permit A38. Any chance you could issue me a copy?
Fiddlesticks, I've just run out.
Wait, Really?
Pretty much the exact same thing happened to me, so I can definitely empathize with Geralt of Rivia here, my fellow hair loss switcher. After my channel was deleted, I immediately appealed, but my appeal was rejected in less than an hour, and this was in the middle of the night, so this was definitely an AI and not a human being I was interacting with. So I reappealed that rejection, and this message appeared on my YouTube Creator Studio page saying that my appeal was being reviewed and would take at least 2 days. Well, after a week, there was still no word from YouTube. I searched online and found that people suggested contacting Team YouTube on Twitter/X. I didn't have an X account at the time, so I went ahead and created one, and I contacted Team YouTube. The first couple of times I did that, I just got a message saying to wait longer. I even asked ChatGPT what to do, which is unprecedented for me because I am generally opposed to AIs and I don't use them in my research, but I was desperate at this point. So the AI suggested emailing the YouTube legal department. I did that and I got no response. I started a Substack shortly after that, and I wrote about how YouTube was ignoring me and how they treat their creators like complete shit. I even forwarded the article I wrote to Team YouTube on X. Right after that, they messaged me and suggested I reply to the original email I got from YouTube. I did that, but the email address didn't accept replies. Team YouTube also suggested filing another appeal. I did that and originally got a message from YouTube support that they couldn't do anything, but suggested I fill out a form to the legal department. Of course, the legal department then said they couldn't do anything and suggested I contact YouTube support. By this time, it had already been over 2 weeks since my channel was taken down, and I had not received any useful information whatsoever from YouTube. I didn't even know if my appeal was still processing. I also didn't even know what the alleged trademark violation was. Keep in mind, I had to file the appeal without having any idea what I was even defending myself against. What was most frustrating about all this is that YouTube is supposed to tell you who files a trademark claim against you so you can properly defend yourself. I was never given that due process, and to this day, I still do not know who is responsible for this attack on my channel. But fortunately, in the end, YouTube finally came to the conclusion that my channel has committed no wrong and it is now in good standing, hence why I am back with you chums. But if I ever do find out who did this, I will take legal action because this fraudulent trademark claim has hurt my channel and caused me monetary damage since my channel has had no views for almost 3 weeks. It's going to be a while before everyone figures out my channel is even back up because of this. So I am going to try to figure out who did this to me, and I still hope that Google will do me the courtesy of giving me the contact information of whomever filed this fraudulent trademark claim so I can bring them to justice. But for now, I'm just happy to be back with all of you chums. So, as you can probably imagine, I am quite behind on a lot of work. I still have to get that skincare video out like I promised, and I have a lot of other projects on the horizon too. I still plan on venturing into some other non-hair loss related scientific subjects as I had done recently, but the focus of my channel will still be on defeating the slaphead curse once and for all. So to all of my loyal viewers, thank you so much for keeping the faith and not giving up on me. I look forward to seeing you all on the path. I'll return to you soon with restocked potions and a sharpened silver sword because the next Witcher contract begins soon. See you all next time. God bless.